Welcome to the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies. And now it's time to get sleazy.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode, you ready for it? Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Episode 200 of the Sleazy Podcast, the world-renowned Sleazy Podcast. All right, I'm your host, Sleazy, and I am joined by Mr. PBS.
Hello, hello.
And as always, you know, Robzilla's here. Not really as always. I mean,
As sometimes.
whenever he's mentally able to come and talk about movies.
Yep.
And joining us from the land of Chicago area, Hot Sauce.
I'm trying to figure out what's on his shirt. What is on PBS's shirt? Is it Ray Charles?
Ray Charles.
But it looked like some fucking black sunglasses on somebody's head, man. I ain't got my glasses on.
It's the Nerdco VHS Christmas shirt, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just the shirts I made for everybody for Christmas this year. Not for everybody, the select important few.
That's right.
I didn't get one of those.
Elite.
All right, so it's been a while since we've had you, Hot Sauce. What have you been doing?
Are both of your arms working?
Yeah.
Just this one. The other one hasn't grown back yet. It's still broken. See, it doesn't come
It's
on.
it's a very contentious advent calendar.
Yeah. She's a bitch. She's fucking mean. They don't realize it.
I haven't
did my advent calendar, just working.
I haven't watched all your advent calendar videos yet, so I'm lost as to what happened.
I got my arm broken, man. I was taking too long one night and got my shit snapped.
Really? She Steven Seagal'd you?
Yeah.
Like full on, like, grabbed it and was like, bam.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was because I was talking shit or if it got broke because I did it when she was gone for 2 days when she was in Dallas. I can't remember.
I think it was before Dallas.
Okay. Yeah.
She got that fancy promotion and now she thinks she can treat you any which way.
She could do that anyway.
Hot Sauce was like, I'll take it.
She said, keep this video under 3 minutes or you're losing an arm.
Yeah, I can't throw my weight around too much. I can't fight back
next time.
All right. So here's the rundown for the 200th episode. We're going to talk about the program. Then we're going to move on to Squid Games 2. I don't know. Me and Rob are probably the only ones that watched it. Maybe Hot Sauce.
I'm not through with it yet.
But you've seen a couple episodes here and there? Okay.
Yeah.
Then PBS and I will talk about Clint Eastwood's latest directorial venture, Juror number 2. And then we're going to do Letterboxd year in review for 2024. And then we're going to end the episode. We're going to pick between all of us, we're going to pick a top 10 movie list for 2024 to go on Letterboxd. So,
Now, before we get to that, since Rob's been itching to do it, Rob, tell us about Carry On. Quick. Keep it quick.
Yes.
I haven't watched that yet.
You were here for Carry On. And you can adjust that mic because Flynn was here and he moved it up. And I noticed it's like covering your,
I want to be mysterious and cover my face.
It's not that bad. I just I had to do that because John was like, it's like, fuck Rob.
Like he'll never get it back.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Let it fly. Let it fly. And he's like, you don't have the clearance for this.
You don't have the clearance. No, I like Carry On. I think the best part of Jason Bateman. He's a great villain. He has that prick attitude and the way he speaks to people. I just felt like it started getting outrageous how he was going to stop him, and then it didn't happen, and it just kind of dragged on a little bit than what it should have been. But
it was a little anticlimactic there.
Yeah.
For a little bit in that movie. I needed more action, more cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbell.
But it was decent, though.
Yeah, it was a decent movie and a good cast.
What'd you rank it?
I gave it a 3.
You gave it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just a 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Put that blurb on the poster. Robzilla, it's outrageous.
Hot Sauce, what did you think of it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Well, it's got Rob's seal of approval, so
But we've had that discussion. Well, I don't know if it's so much a discussion as me just ranting and bitching. I don't understand the Rob seal of approval. Does that mean it's really fucking bad? Like, I don't want to fucking see it? Or does that mean it's really fucking good and I should watch it because he says it's good? So it's not that shitty.
You know, I would say that it's good because if it's shitty, Rob will tell you that it's a good shitty movie.
Yeah, I'll
What
let
does
you
that
know.
mean? Good shitty might mean I need to watch it. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
Like a double negative. You
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what-
negative. I tell you, it's like, hey, this movie's pretty shitty, but I was entertained, and I'll let you know straight up that's what it is. Wait, what was the movie we watched at my house? Was it Sorority Massacre, like from the 80s? Movie's
Yeah.
god awful, but it's fucking hilarious. So
I-
it's like
I will say this. Rob recommended a pretty kick-ass movie this week.
that's made my
But-
year.
Not even this week, but I mean, all like half of 2024. He's like, you got to watch Project Wolf Hunting. You got to watch it. And I'm like, is it a Korean movie? You're goddamn right it is. And I finally, you know, I didn't have much going on one night because I'm on vacation this week. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Rob up on his word here and I'm going to watch Project Wolf Hunting. And it was a pretty kick-ass movie. I just got to say that. It's way over the top. It's your typical Korean action movie. But I was entertained.
All matters.
There's a lot of gore in it.
Yes.
I thought Cell Block on Raw or Raw on Cell Block 99 was a brutal movie.
No.
And Bone Tomahawk was a brutal movie. This movie was fucking brutal. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wild.
it is unbelievable because
Yeah.
it's a bunch of nonsense, but
Right.
still, it was a fun movie to watch. So if you like those fun action movies where people get fucked up, then and you like Korean movies, then you'll love this movie.
Yes, you will.
But
I think for 2025, we need to set like a New Year's goal of getting the show sponsored by Tubi. Rob needs to do like a Tubi
I know.
movie review like every week.
we just got to get you on TikTok. You know, hopefully it doesn't go away, and you can give your Tubi pick of the week or something every week.
We could do that.
Robzilla's 2-minute Tubi.
Guys, I think that you should watch this movie for the cinematography.
Do you want to lose followers?
I don't think so. I haven't lost any yet, so
Yeah, but if you start featuring him, it might go down.
Be a different story.
people really love the Halloween stuff we did.
Okay.
Picks with the spooky picks we did. So that was fun too.
Yeah.
Even though one week I suffered brutally, I was like, I kept fucking up what I wanted to say. I was like, start that again, PBS. Then it got to be the 20th time, and I was like, you know what? I'll just splice it together.
We'll fix that in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post, as Ridley Scott would say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just made these guys watch the program, and this is the latest documentary by James Fox. And for those of you that don't know who James Fox is, he does a lot of UFO documentaries, UAP, UFO, same thing. UAP's current language, I guess you could say, because it doesn't sound as negative as UFO. So
We ain't calling fucking Twitter X. We ain't calling UAP
Right.
UFOs.
That's
They're
how I feel.
UFOs.
it's always UFOs to me.
This is old school here.
Nothing wrong with UFO.
But I guess they call it anomalous because some of these things go in the ocean and then they shoot up in the space or whatever. But
Is that
Okay.
a porn tab? What's my instance? Is that porn tab there?
no, this
Oh.
is like the
Sound.
Oh,
that's the sound we
get a
get.
little sneak
Exactly.
into Eric's little fetishes or something.
Now you might see like an ad every once in a while from something I've clicked on, but
Okay. All right.
You see those Adam and Eve pop-ups pop up.
yeah. From where I've like accidentally clicked on it when I'm watching porn or something, you know.
Gotcha.
You ever have that happen? You're like scrolling and your thumb accidentally hits an ad and you're like, fuck.
He says no.
It happens to me all the time, dude. It's not just on porn. It's
Says,
on,
he
like,
says get a bigger screen.
my phone is like almost 7 inches. I mean, yep. No, it's not what she said.
yeah. It is.
But yeah, like sometimes I'll be like, even when I'm like reading something, like all these ads fucking pop up and you accidentally click on it. And you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, can I just read in peace?
No.
Okay, so moving back on. So the program explores an unprecedented bipartisan congressional effort to uncover what intelligence agencies really know about UFOs, now referred to as UAP, or as Hot Sauce says, we're not fucking calling it that. It's UFOs.
Amen.
But this, I thought he did a good job. This was more or less for people that aren't familiar with the topic, I guess you could say. And it kind of gives you, it doesn't really give you the history, but it kind of tells you what's been going on in Washington, D.C., and all the congressional hearings and some of the whistleblowers that have come out. And he actually investigates the Calvine case, which was in the UK. Was that in the 90s? I think they said 94, I think is what he said. It was either 94 or 90.
Mhm.
But they took a picture. These guys were on break and they took a little hike and took a picture of a UFO.
It was 1990.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they've got a picture of the UFO, and then in the background behind the UFO is a military plane. So it's like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
And then he took it to a photo professional and they confirmed its authenticity. And it's just, there's a bunch of crazy shit in this. Not as much. I don't think this is his best documentary. I still think The Phenomenon is where you need to start. And then, you could work your way back up, back up or back down from there. But I would say it's his second best. And Rob, you've watched a handful of them. What do you think?
It's always interesting, especially if you don't remember or recall certain aspects. Like I never really remember the 1990 incident with the pitcher. That's a little familiar with.
Well, that's because it didn't come out forever.
Okay.
Because it was somehow the photo got shuttled around, and I think he got that photo from like a detective or something. So,
right. And then I did not know about the incident with the guy from the UK, McKinnon, who broke into the.
You never heard that story?
No.
Yeah,
no.
He interviews the guy that hacked into NASA's mainframe or whatever.
Data mainframe.
Said he got a bunch of like pictures and a list of non-terrestrial generals or officers or something. But that guy, I don't know how I feel about that guy. He looks kind of sketchy. Something about him just looks sketchy. And
he doesn't really read as a hacker, I would say.
And if there's one thing I have to say about, like, I think James Fox does a great job at getting this message out there. But he seems to, like, just because you vet somebody and they are who they are, that doesn't mean they're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even the one guy, and spoiler alert here, there's a guy he interviews called Jason Sands, and he was, a master sergeant in the Air Force. And this incident took place in 94. This was the 94 one. And they said they were on patrol one day and they saw a random person jogging, and they got out of the car, and it was he thought the person was suffering from hypothermia because they were like whitish bluish color. And then they get out of the car, and the other guy's like, he doesn't have any fucking ears. And they're like, oh shit, but he says that this was an alien and it talked telepathically to him, and it was looking for a supply of something. And when he said he didn't know what it was, it got back in the UFO and flew away. And they actually have video of a UFO around this base that happened a couple of days before. Was it before or after?
I think I said it was around the same time.
I think it's like two or 3 days.
A couple of days, either before or after. But they actually have the video, and you can see this thing like bouncing around up in the air and zigzagging and stuff. So it's very interesting stuff. And
I think he asked him for something. He thought he said titanium. He's like, no.
I think it's safe to say that the government, not necessarily the government, but there's a faction in the government that knows something.
Yeah.
And has always known something. And whether that this is a crypto entity, a non-human, intelligence, as they like to call it, I don't know if it's from space, so to speak. But there's something out there, I think, and it's here, and it's kind of appearing when it wants to, and then dipping out. But yeah, I'm not even sure I believe that Jason Sands guy, because he just, like, a part of him seems credible, but then you're like, is this dude crazy?
Yeah.
Because, like, who would come out and say this stuff? You ruin your retirement and stuff like that if it was fake. I mean, that's just the logical way I'm thinking of it. But then again, he just doesn't, I don't know. There's just something about it. And then the whole vetting thing. But did they give you proof?
Yeah.
And I think they've seen some stuff, but they can't share it. So that's another issue. You know, like George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, they always say they've seen stuff, but they can't share it without giving away their source, because then it'll blow their source.
And of course, if you want to be more pissed off, because you still run into this too, like, well, I can't say. So, I mean, you still run into that, which it gets you more irritated.
How many times did we hear that? Well, I can't tell you
like
unless
30,
we're in a
40.
skiff.
Yeah.
I'll go to jail if I'll tell you this.
Right.
Well, what's the point of the whistleblower protection?
It's like, dude, you're 70. Just go ahead and cough.
Yeah, by the time you'll die by the time they get everything situated to put you in jail.
Yeah.
But what'd you think, PBS? Since you're obviously the more, you and Hot Sauce are probably the more skeptical people out of this.
Oh, I'm the most skeptical. There's no you and him. I am the most.
I'm unimpressed. No, like you just said, actually, like the Grush guy. Like, I appreciate what he said, but like, can you tell us exactly? Yeah, I could tell you exactly where it was in the skiff. Like, no, tell us right now.
Yeah.
Like, don't be like, oh, well, I might go to jail. Like, bro, you have vital information about the greatest discovery, like, in the history of mankind, and you're worried about going to jail or getting sued. Fuck off.
And they've already tried to ruin you anyway, so might as well.
Like that's another thing that like really bothers me, is like they released old dude's medical records to damage his, credibility.
Right.
If that doesn't tell you that he knows something, then I don't know what you need. But it sounds like David Grush is a Boy Scout and he wants to follow all the rules and the laws.
That's all bullshit. Yeah,
and
everybody use that. It's all bullshit.
And
you're like Rob said, the one guy's like, you're all old white-haired men. Just let it go.
Yeah, and like I've heard of Hal Puthoff before this. Like, if you research anything UFO and the government, Hal Puthoff's name is always at the top of the list. And I think that dude has seen some stuff, and I think he knows some stuff. But again, he's so fucking old. Like, what are you worried about going to jail for, bro? Your life is over. What are you doing?
You look like the Crypt Keeper, buddy.
Just
because he doesn't have anything that's credible or that he can actually tell you. It's all just attention bullshit.
But it's funny. Like, all these other people speak highly of him too, and they're like, he's one of the greatest scientists you'll ever talk to. And that Eric Davis dude is another character. But I don't know. Like, it's weird when they tell you, like, yeah, there's a ton of other data, whether it be pictures, 4K video. Like, we just can't
get Snowden in there. Let's do it.
Why isn't somebody? And supposedly there's supposed to be some big disclosure thing happening this month. Like, there's a timer, and like they're pissed because they're not getting the cooperation of the government. Like, they're still trying to get David Grush into a skiff. Like, why can't they just walk over and say, I want to be in a skiff? Like, they have to grant him permission to be in the skiff with Congress. Well, I thought Congress,
like, what's the thing from a couple years ago where like everybody's like, we're all gonna attack Area 51. Well, we know there's probably nothing at Area 51. Like, dude, just tell us where the stuff is, and we'll just all go there right now.
And that's the thing in this documentary that James Fox does a really good job with, is the cat and mouse game that they have set up. They've set up intentionally so Congress can't ever get their hands on this. And his claim is that all these companies, like I
think he said Boeing and was one of them.
Boeing and what's this Lockheed Martin's what is it? Lockheed Martin. The Skunk Work program, like, they've got all these, everything that we want to see they have, but Congress doesn't have any authority over them, so they can just tell them to go fuck themselves. And like that UAP bill they tried to get passed last year or 23? I think it was 23. We got the two Republicans that are essentially funded by Lockheed Martin and the aerospace division, and those two were the guys that blocked the bill.
Of course.
So I mean, there's some coincidences here, but there's something up. They're hiding something. And I don't buy the whole, like, well, this is for national security reasons why we can't share any of this stuff. Well, if it's so advanced, why are you worried about sharing it? Like, I don't see if it's advanced, you think that would cement our our place in the world as far as people not fucking with us.
Well, and progressing the human race in general.
Well, and I think that's a big issue. They don't. Whether you want to believe this or not, like, if they really do possess these crafts and they're able to do the things they do and run the way certain people have said they run off 0 point energy or whatever, then there's no need for oil or, nuclear plants at that for energy. And like they said in this documentary at the end, disclosure would ruin so much of the economy and the world. Like, it's just catastrophic.
It wouldn't be like what Corporation A sues Corporation B because they had technology and they didn't, and
they had an unfair advantage and stuff like that. So there's like all these little things that just come into play, and you're like, okay. I mean, I can see why they don't come out and say it if they do have any of this stuff. But that being said, I'm with Kyle where I'm a little disappointed, but I still think James Fox does a good job. Like, he may have not got the message out that he wanted to get out, or but I think it's going to keep adding, because obviously people, now there's Congress people that they're pissed because they're not getting the answers back from this, and they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they find something out.
Yeah, it's an okay documentary that kind of brings you up to speed on some of these issues. And like I said, I mean, it's obvious there's these videos that show you some strange stuff happening.
Yeah.
And whatever that may mean or lead to is one thing. But I'm tired of these people who are like, yes, I know for a fact these crafts exist and they're non-terrestrial beings. I know it for a fact. Oh, can you prove it? Well, no.
I get it with some of these people worried about, their assets being frozen.
I don't care.
Their pay being taken away.
If you know for a fact that aliens exist, I don't care.
But it's such a big...
We'll start a GoFundMe. I was
going to say, we'll start a GoFundMe. It's fine, buddy.
And that they do have that now, like the UAP Disclosure Act, to kind of like fund whistleblowers' legal, fees and stuff like that. But I hear that there's double-digit whistleblowers just waiting in the wings. They've already testified behind closed doors, and they're just waiting to kind of roll this stuff out. And it's supposedly there's like phases, and we're in like the first phase, and it's like over a 10-year period. But I guess time will tell whether we, if this is true or if it's a bunch of bullshit, as Hot Sauce would say. There's the Calvine picture, by the way. I threw that up there for you guys.
I do wish, like the last shot of the documentary is James Fox is talking to one of the guys, and he's like, theoretically, if there was no problems, could you walk me into a lab and show me something that?
Gary Nolan.
Yeah. Could you walk me into a lab or something and show me something that would prove aliens exist? And he kind of says no comment. And I just wish the guy would look at the camera and says, "You're goddamn right, I could."
Fade to black.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, Gary Nolan is, he does all this contracted work and advises with certain people, and the guy's legitimate. He's got a an office, and was it a lab in Stanford?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Stanford's a pretty good university to be a teacher at. But I heard an interview where he was giving, it was a podcast, and there's this other girl, I forget her name, Dana something, but she has a religious background, and she studies all the religious ties between this, over the years. And she said that Gary Nolan took them to, I'm pretty sure it was Gary Nolan, but they had to blindfold them, and then they took them to a UFO crash retrieval site. And supposedly he showed them a piece of metal or something that was from the craft. And then that's another thing, like how we're...
Hold on, nobody but me is going to jump in there. Oh, some lady, Dana Scully? Like,
no.
Older, maybe?
She's actually pretty well known in the podcast market now. Where's she at?
Now, you see, the X-Files comment is kind of funny because, you ever watch the X-Files? Like every other episode has like an alien in it, and Scully still doesn't believe in aliens. Like, Scully, you just saw an alien.
That's what upsets me.
Yeah.
Like,
you just probed it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's you definitely saw one. Like, oh well.
It's the 4th season. Is that really real, Mulder? Bitch, do you not understand what we've been through?
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, there's even one Republican saying that they talk about affecting religion if it came out.
It doesn't.
Well, he even says that too. He's like, I'm a boring gay Christian. I don't care.
Here's the thing. Like the Bible, it sort of mentions stuff like this happening throughout the Bible. So I don't get where it goes back to that thing. Once again, we talked about a couple weeks ago. Like most people that claim they've read the Bible have never read the Bible.
Yeah, they pick and choose of what they want.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with question. If they did disclose something, say it was real, I don't think Christians would be leaving the Christian church in masses. Like it just wouldn't happen. They either wouldn't believe it or they would say, yeah, it's part of the Bible.
I've read the good book. The aliens ain't in that bitch.
Diana Pasulka.
What is it?
Diana Walsh Pasulka.
Yeah, I think that's her name.
Pasolka.
There's a good interview on American Alchemy. This dude Jesse Michaels, he does like these documentary style videos on YouTube, and but he does interviews as well. And he has a good interview with Dana. I'm trying to look for it. I don't see it.
Look, we all know this UFO stuff is just to distract us from Democrat pedophiles drinking adrenochrome.
Yeah,
It's just a smoke screen.
That's what's really going on. Hillary Clinton is in Hot Sauce's pizza basement molesting children. We know you know Hot Sauce. I know you can't say because of the documents you've signed.
I can't tell you.
Yeah, here you go.
Or you're goddamn right she is.
So Jesse Michaels does an interview, Biblical UFOs, Occult NASA, and End of Times, featuring Carl Nell and Dana Pasolka. And Carl Nell is he was the Navy Admiral or something like that. Let's look him up real quick.
You know, we won't really talk about it, but Jimmy Carter passed away. Jimmy Carter claimed to have seen a UFO.
But they said somebody came out and explained what it was he saw, and supposedly it wasn't a UFO.
Yeah,
but more something, astronomy wise.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Carl E. Nell. Let's see if I can get his Wikipedia. There's a thing on SALT here. Okay. Or the Soul Foundation, sorry. Okay, looking. He's got a profile on here, so let's just throw this up. That's the wrong thing there.
Let me ask you this while you're looking.
Okay.
Don't you feel like, though, these people, it's always vague, it's always a non-answer, it's I can't. If they even had the knowledge to be able to, I'm just saying that they do. Let's just say that. Wouldn't you think they would have already got shut down? You wouldn't even be able, if I had the knowledge, you wouldn't even be able to talk to me and me tell you, I can't tell you about that. I'm not going to be able to talk to you about shit. Like you're not even going to have access to me.
I don't know, because it's funny, like the impression I get from some of the books I've read and everything I've watched the past couple of years is it sounds like there's this slow plan to disclose just enough to keep people to stop asking questions eventually.
To sell more documentaries and more ad space on podcasts.
And it feels like the government wants to let some of this stuff out, but it's on their terms. So, and I get why some of these people can't do it, because they have bills to pay and they've got a house payment and they have to live just like us. So, I mean, it's one thing if Elon Musk, bankrolls you and you can come out and say, yeah, fuck them. I don't have to worry about money anymore. But
I think it's, you can release like all these UFO videos you want, and you could have like, the president out there be like, oh, yep, that's a real video. And it doesn't mean anything. But if you actually had to admit something like, oh, yeah, we've got some nuclear kind of energy or whatever, and we can literally replace fossil fuels overnight, like, rich people aren't going to let that happen.
no.
So there is, maybe a hint of truth in stuff like that, or a hint of logic or whatever. So you might as well just let a bunch of stuff that doesn't really amount to anything come out. And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think, the government is very complex, and it's very, like the one guy, Hal Puthoff, says in the documentary, he's like, we can keep secrets. It's just
You know who we need to put in charge of all this stuff?
Who's that?
Luigi Mangione.
Yeah,
he'll get something done.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get it done.
You're going to talk, or you're going to get bullet in the head. Take your pick.
That's the guy that plans and executes his plan flawlessly.
Pardon that man.
Except for getting caught, right?
Put him in charge of the UAP program. We'll know something next week.
Everybody's going to be spilling their guts.
I want to see this guy's full, like, I don't want it off the SALT program. I want to see his full thing going on here. Google.com. He's got a LinkedIn account. Let's see here. Why does this guy not have a Wikipedia? Everybody has a Wikipedia now, except for Rob.
I don't matter.
It's true.
Yeah.
Rob's got the giggles tonight.
He does. He missed a
what's
week.
going on?
And he's like on it.
Yeah.
See, I don't see his name on this Wikipedia for the Soul Foundation. Assault conferences. There's David Grush has a Wikipedia page on UFO whistleblower claims.
And that does like make a lot of sense what you said, Mr. PBS, that they probably just want at least just enough to keep you busy, occupied, but there's so much more that could affect,
Yeah, I mean, like what's any of these UAP videos really matter?
Right.
Nothing. Like, okay, there's something weird out there flying around. Yep.
You seen the new
You got
video?
me.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's an American Economist. No.
I don't know. Like, I'll watch anything. I'll listen to it. I don't know what it would take to convince me that it's
Right.
bullshit, though.
I
don't know where I would be like, oh shit.
You'd probably have to have an experience of some sort or see something.
I need the entity to knock on my front door like a Jehovah's Witness and say, "Do you have a moment to talk about your Lord and Savior Glorp?"
Lorp.
Okay. Tell me.
But that goes to the whole, like, you don't believe in stuff if you can't see it. There's shit that I will never see that I believe in because I trust what people are telling me about it. I don't know what it would take for me to be convinced of this.
So, I guess
I don't know.
It doesn't really do much credit to ask you what it would take other than seeing something walk up to you. And
yeah, I can't answer that, honestly. I mean, that's honestly,
And
I
walks in
can't
hot
answer
sauce. Do you believe me now? Huh?
maybe you need to go visit that family in Las Vegas that had the 10-foot aliens in their backyard.
That still shocks me just because those people had guns and was still afraid to go back there.
Oh, dude,
that's what gets me.
They were terrified
Yeah.
of something back there.
Yeah.
Either that or they were on some LSD or something.
Yeah. These guys had pistols. They're like, I ain't going back there. I'm like, you serious?
Need to get Hot Sauce's own like skeptic show.
Yeah.
Get him roaming around the forest like, we're gonna find that fucking Bigfoot today. Fucking.
I can't really find like a profile for him. Like even
there isn't one.
You're looking too?
Yeah, I found a 1-year-old Reddit thread. Are you guys still skeptical about UAPs after Carl Nell said this? Background is insane. Currently an advisor to Joint Chief of Staff. Background is crazy. He worked with Grush on the UAP task force. More info in his job description here, but it goes to a YouTube video. I try to be skeptical when big people lie. When big people like Carl Nell are saying this insane stuff, do I really think something else happening? Carl Nell also worked on crash retrieval programs. The number one reply to that is, I find vague statements backed up by no evidence to be the most convincing. I think I'm kind of in line with that guy's comment or gal's comment. It's a bunch of vague statements and there's never any real evidence. That's why I don't know what it would take. I don't know.
So what do you think about the Tic Tac video and the pilot's testimony on that? Like I forget how many feet it was, but I mean, it was the size of a aircraft, obviously, and it dusted them. Or have you not seen that?
I started watching that show a little bit. I just had to cook dinner. It took me longer to cook dinner than I thought. I've got it open in a tab here.
Well, the Tic Tac video isn't in that. I think they might have shown like
they mention it briefly.
Yeah. If you watch The Phenomenon, it's like 2 documentaries before that. They cover the Tic Tac pretty good. But they have David Graver, one of the pilots that interacted with it, and like that's the thing that kind of like got me a little bit, was like how terrified these pilots were.
Yeah. When
they described the interaction they had, they were like, it dusted us and there was nothing we could do. But here we go.
They're like, you just saw a balloon. You're fine.
Yeah.
Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that. There's zero doubt. Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity.
That's enough of that. Yeah, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's all these like highly decorated people, and obviously they can vet and find these things. And if they want to deceive you, they can make it look like they're what they are.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I feel like there's something going on, and there's always been something going on from the beginning of time. But you know, it's once again like you can't 100% say it until you see it with your own eyes. So, and I think it'll be, you know, even if they did come out and disclose big news, there would be a faction of the people. I don't even want to say who they be, but they would be like, no, it's not true. It's the government fucking with you. PSYOP. It's a PSYOP. They're just out to, you know, make you feel like you need the government.
Let's put it this way. If there was ever something that came about that convinced me of all of this, I would definitely find it interesting, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
I would be interested in it. Like, okay, I want to learn more about it. I want to know more about it.
I've always been fascinated by this stuff. So, you know, I can't get enough of it. I'm like, what's next?
Right. Give me more.
Skeptical.
Give me my ray guns, my replicators, my transporter. Let's go.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. You know, like if anything, you get quality entertainment out of it just by seeing like, and if you have that skeptical mind, like, look how crazy this motherfucker is that he's up there lying to millions of people for what? Like most of these dudes don't get anything. I mean, some of them get book deals or whatever, but how much money?
Presidencies.
Yeah. Well, you know, Trump says he doesn't believe in UFOs. So
No, I'm saying lying to millions of people. What's he get out of it?
yeah, he does say he believes the pilots that have told him stories about encountering these things, but other than that, it's like, but I guess we'll see. You know, if there really is this timetable, like
That's really why Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. Because if aliens are born in America, that means they're American citizens and they can be elected president.
can't have that. Can't have it. No, sir. Get rid of them.
That's frowned upon.
All right. So I think, you know, Rob and I are probably on the other side of this argument. Like we think there's something going on here.
There's something.
And you guys are just kind of like, it's all bullshit.
You call
He's
me.
probably more neutral than I am.
You call me when Rob gets anally probed by someone from Alpha Centauri.
He does 3 nights a fucking week.
I just find it so weird with that, especially like the Tic Tac video. Like I know they've tried to debunk the Nimitz video. They said it was a balloon, but then you listen to the Ryan Graves guy talking. He's like, no, that wasn't a fucking balloon. It was a cube inside a sphere, and it was moving super fast past planes. Like you don't have that with balloons. And that's another thing. These pilots, they're trained to identify planes from miles away, you know, like in the speeds that they go at. I think they would realize it's a balloon. You know, they would know how a balloon moves in the air, you know, and all that.
These pilots are highly trained, handle $1 million aircrafts,
Yeah.
and training and stress. Yeah, I'm gonna take their word over some other guy.
People in the military make outrageous claims that end up being wrong all the time. So it's very possible that they could be, you know, under some kind of stress and just seeing something. But when it's multiple people in that same experience and then it's confirmed with radar, like, I mean, there's certain things that kind of have to add up. But who knows? Maybe it's the Chinese fucking with us. But the way the government says it, nobody else has this technology.
Well, even there was one guy who was basically reciting a speech from like the 60s, like, well, you know, NASA, you know, looked into this and it was, you know, either aircraft or balloon. It is like word for word.
Yeah, word for word.
Yeah.
It's the same shit that what's his name from he was an Ohio State professor. He was on Project Blue Book. Oh shit, what is his name now? He was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember, but
J. Allen Hynek.
There you go.
Yeah, he was the lead scientist, and he later came out like he was the guy that was, you know, the Air Force put in charge of debunking these UFO cases back in the, what was it, 50s?
Yeah, 50s, 60s.
And he gave that same speech that you were talking about. Like, it's either this, drones, balloons, blah, blah, blah. And then he later came out and started a UFO foundation and claimed that they were actively telling him to debunk these just to get over it. So, you know, the American people would stop worrying about it, stop asking questions. So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of stories coming out, and it just doesn't seem, you know, for some of these people like that Jason Sands dude, Like, what has he got to gain by telling people this stuff? Like,
Mhm.
he's not going to get anything out of it, but who knows? Maybe he's getting something. So, all right. We are going to move on to Squid Game season 2. So, what do you think, Rob? We're putting you on the spot since you missed the last episode.
Shit got wild last couple episodes.
Yeah, it did.
So I haven't really seen much negative reviews that you have. You've said
I've seen a lot of people shit on it,
which I don't understand. I did have to do like a recap because it was, the first season came out in 2021. So I was kind of like, couldn't really remember certain characters, but I watched the recap in the first episode and it kind of got going. But I don't understand the hate for it. I'm excited. Maybe, like you mentioned, maybe it's only 7 episodes might be the problem, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird number too.
7 episodes, and the way it ends, it's just like, okay, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I found it to be very similar to the first season as far as like the pacing and how engaged I was with it. Like I was into it, and I don't get the negativity around it. Like I was very entertained, and
Same way. I'm really engaged. You become really attached to certain characters, which you shouldn't become attached to because it's not going to end well, most likely. And you still get the anxiety when they're playing the games because there's consequences if you don't win.
oh yeah,
So
people get shot.
yeah, you still get these. I get anxiety from it because like there's something happens, they're screaming like, "You're fucking us up, you're gonna get us killed, what are you doing?" They're like, "I'm so sorry." They're freaking out.
They're freaking out, huh?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Can you throw a fucking rock? But I believe I did read something that it was gonna end on season 3, that it was renewed, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a continuation, be like part 2 of season 2.
It has to be, yeah.
Or if it's gonna be like a brand new like season 3.
Maybe you can look that up, PBS, while you're over there. Like, see when is the next season of Squid Games?
Did you guys hear the story about the creator of Squid Games? How like Netflix kind of screwed him out of a bunch of money
No, I didn't hear that. I knew he was
that.
like dirt poor or something before.
because they just paid him for the series or whatever, but they didn't give him like any of the money for the IP and all that kind of stuff. And then it became like this worldwide phenomenon that led to Netflix doing their own reality show or whatever.
I remember when they
And
did.
that's some people, and that's kind of why I think he's back for the second season, but he kind of had to come back because he needed the money. And that's one reason that some people suspect maybe it's not quite as good as the first one because of the pressure he was under and the money he needed and all that kind
He
of stuff.
phoned it in.
Mhm. Well, even like in the American TV show, like I think when the person won, they still didn't receive the money by the time.
Yeah, Netflix. They had to sue Netflix to get the money. They weren't trying to pay him or anything like that. Yeah, man. I don't understand why people like. Okay, on Rotten Tomatoes, Squid Games season 1 has an 89%. Let's see if we can find something to better gauge this on. Yeah, I wish it just is seasons 2. Let's go to 2. So
The third and final season was filmed back to back, with the second season is scheduled to be released in 2025.
So yeah,
They already
probably
filmed it then.
yeah, probably May or something like that. I'm guessing.
So I know the different subject, but like Cobra Kai, the final season I think comes out this month or next.
I don't
They
even.
can suck my dick. I ain't watching that shit till they're all out. That pissed me off.
That's
I know,
kind of how I
yeah.
feel.
I
Like,
don't understand why they did it. They
And
could have
I'm-
ended last season.
I'm kind of
honestly.
tired of Cobra
Yeah.
Kai. Like
Yeah.
this is the problem with these teen shows is they all get caught up in this crybaby drama, and it's like I just want to see cool fights and underdogs, beat the odds and win something. I don't need to see all the arguing and Jenny did this to Bob, and I just don't care.
Well, just like this season, like they could end it last season, in my opinion. It could have been over with, but they just
they're just milking it.
yeah.
Okay, so the reviews, so it's certified fresh at 84%, but the popcorn meter is at 64%.
I don't understand it. That's my opinion, but
I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it just as much as I enjoyed the first season. I have some complaints about it, obviously I'd almost rather watch it with its original language and subtitles because I feel like the
the dubbing.
really takes away from the acting performances. and like some of it just sounds so goddamn cheesy when you hear these actors say these lines, and it's emotionless, and it just sounds so corny almost. But that's really my complaint. Like, if you're going to do the dubs, why can't we get good actors to play these parts, for dub? Like, they'll do the voice work. What do they give a shit?
Right.
But okay, let's see what season 1 has here, if I can find it again.
I think the one thing that kind of throws me off a little bit with the main character, like, he's kind of more of a badass too. And like in this season coming up.
He definitely is. He's like training with guns.
Yeah. Apparently that's what money buys you. It was it 4.56 billion won or 45.6 billion won or something. Yes.
Man, just going through that shit changes your life, man. It just changes you as a person.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, he does not fuck around, dude. He's like ready to go back. And
he's
me personally, I would have just taken my money and just lived out my life, thankful that I made it through that.
It's not his money, it's blood money.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
That sounds like a straight like 90s action movie if he says that too.
I've seen where a lot of people are talking about how people are missing the true meaning behind Squid Games, and it's anti-capitalist messaging. And, they're probably right about that. I mean, it's very, people are.
It really shows what you'll do for money.
Yeah. When people are in a jam, they'll go to the most extreme efforts to get out of it. Not here in America. They just lay down in Hollywood.
Yeah.
On the pavement. They get a tent and just live on the, the sidewalks. But, it sucks that people are in that situation. But I don't know if Americans would be competing.
That
in
is
Squid
the
Games.
American Squid Game.
Yeah.
Living in a tent on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I just need a tent.
Only
please.
the reward is nothing.
Dodging the police when the governor orders them to clean out.
Right.
Yeah. So
seeing how little insulin Robzilla can survive on is his Squid Game.
Yeah.
Rationing out his shots.
They're like, need to cap that insulin.
They cap insulin now, don't they? Or is it just if you're on Medicaid?
I don't know, because you know what? I had to order my insulin, and they said you must have ordered early. I was like, oh, that's like $1,500 for like 4 pins. But then it got processed and it was like free.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wow.
fuck you. They don't care.
Yeah, for real. Good thing you said something. Or did somebody notice it and hook you up?
Well, no, I noticed it, but this is before insurance, and then they process it through the insurance.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it. I ain't gonna pay. I ain't gonna take it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I just won't eat nothing. I'll just drink water and just eat very, very low carb.
And you'll end up in the hospital again.
I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna pay for that bill.
Rob's like,
administration fucking eat it for all I care.
It's priorities here, people. I'm not wasting my money to live.
Yeah.
those UAPs are full of insulin that we need to trade the
they
aliens.
Can cure
for.
us. I just gotta wait it out for 10 years. It's part of the plan.
What if that's why aliens don't reveal themselves to us, because they don't want to get diabetes and heart disease?
there's this guy down there called Robzilla. He can kill us all.
You think they're sitting up there like they're secretly hovering over that one place in Las Vegas where you have to get on the scale, and if you weigh 350 pounds, you
Heart attack grill.
Yeah, you eat for free, and they're like, fuck this.
I really hope they're like the aliens from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. My dad owns a dealership. It's just like just completely stupid fucking people.
I told you guys before, I'm like, man, if aliens were real, I'd almost kind of wish it would be like Mars Attacks, and they just go in and clean house. Just get rid of all these fuckers that are just the problem.
Yeah. We know who the problem is around on Earth. We're gonna get rid of these people for you.
So what's you said you're 2 episodes in, Hot Sauce. What's your thoughts so far?
I don't know. Sometimes sequels are fucked up. Sometimes season 2 may not be as good as season 1. I don't think it's to like the level of it's not as good as season 1. I mean, it could still get there. A lot of this stuff too, it's hard to compare because season 1 just kind of took everybody by storm. It was just so viral. Nobody expected it. Nobody knew what was going on. This was what season 1 came out in
2021.
2021. We're just coming out of the pandemic. We're just kind of getting our shit back together a little bit. And everybody's like, oh shit, look at this. So it's like, I don't know. You kind of like that perfect storm of everything just kind of coming together. Maybe made season 1 better than what it really was in some people's eyes too. Like it just like, man, there's a lot of shit going on. Here's just something interesting to watch and check out and jump into. So everybody just kind of like went full force. So like the emotion that you had from watching that and being sucked into it and pulled into it Now it's like things are more, so to speak, normal. So now it's just like
Yeah.
another show. So,
But you're not like it's dog shit.
No, not at all. Not yet. I'm not saying that won't happen. Not yet.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm just as entertained as I was through the first season. So
I'm still getting attached to the characters. I'm still, seeing what's going to happen. So, I mean, I'm still very involved with the show with it. But I don't know. I'm pretty, there's a couple people I'm already attached to. I hope
Rob's going to watch anything, so we don't have to read a page of that book.
Yeah. So I let Rob borrow a book. And this was, how long ago was this? November?
Yeah.
So how many pages have you read?
0.
You told me. I think that was a text. You told me I'm not reading the fucking book.
Yeah, he will
It's
not read the book.
It's at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sleazy. This motherfucker has read 0. And just like
bro, how hard is it to read a paragraph at least?
It's hard.
No, it's not hard.
You know what we're gonna do?
Is that my Squid Game? I gotta read a book within a
Yes.
Since Christopher Nolan is doing a movie of the Odyssey, we should make Rob read the Odyssey. And I've already calculated this out. There's approximately like 536 days until the movie comes out. So if he only needs to read like 22 lines of the poem a day between now and then to finish before the movie comes out. So I'm going to bring you my copy of the Odyssey, Rob.
Okay.
And you're going to read 22 lines like every episode or something.
Is this like story time with Robzilla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it reading time?
We got to start making some original segments for you, bro. Whether it's the Tubi originals or making you exercise your literacy on the show.
Hey, I got your back, Rob. Fuck them. He had 24 fucking years to watch Gladiator before the second one came out. I got you, Rob.
Oh, you just killed Rob.
You kill me. Damn you.
Cough like the bitch you are.
I got you, Rob. Fuck them guys.
Did you get to watch Gladiator 2 yet?
Not yet. No.
Oh,
I think
man.
it's out now.
I want to. Yeah, you can get it at home now.
That's
I
what I
think.
thought it was.
I've been wanting to, talk to you about it since you're such a huge Gladiator fan, and to see what your thoughts are about it.
I think it was. I wanted to go see it. I was gonna do that early Monday morning showing, but they weren't showing it like an early Monday morning. Like it was kind of one of them things. Like I wanted to go see it, but I didn't want to go invest like a prime time, like go sit there in a theater full of people. If I could just slide in there like a Monday morning at 8 a.m., be home by 1 in the afternoon. I got a day off still. And I didn't get a chance to do that because it wasn't playing early enough.
Okay. All right.
So they have movie times around 8 o'clock?
Some people do.
Oh, okay. I was curious. I've only seen like early as like 10:40 or something.
Yeah, like
I went and saw Twisters at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
When Movie Tavern was here, they used to do like a breakfast and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
This is the Cinemark in Joliet Mall.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Before the next segment, how about I love the music for Squid Games. The do do do. The very end.
Yeah, it's so good.
It gets you going, man.
It is. It's good. Okay, so PBS and I, as he's just sitting there staring at his fucking phone again.
Sir, I am looking at the IMDb page for Juror number 2. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Hurry the fuck up.
Juror number 2, justice is blind, guilt sees everything. While serving as a juror in high-profile murder trial, family man Justin Kemp finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer. I gave
Hoult?
it. Yeah, Nicholas Hoult is the main character in this.
Of course he is.
Toni Collette, she is the prosecutor.
Attorney, prosecutor, whatever.
Yeah, man, she is just Toni Collette's so sexy, and she just she ages like fine wine, man. And let me ask you this: does she do something for you dressed up as a that hotshot district attorney prosecutor? Like I just want to stand, I want to be in the courtroom and have her, try to prove that I'm guilty of
Just yell at you.
just loving that ass.
Answer the question.
Yeah, Toni Collette, man, she is fine.
I object. That you do.
But yeah, like I said, Clint Eastwood directed this. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think so.
Am I right on that?
Yep.
Okay.
Did he write it as well?
No, but I was looking up to see how many movies he's directed. And it's got to be 45 or 46. So this might be his 46th movie
That he's directed?
that he's directed.
Did he
Holy
direct Space
shit.
Cowboys? I always love that movie. I don't know why.
I was gonna say that's quite an odd, thing to throw out there.
I like that movie because it's got
Yes, he did direct Space Cowboys.
Yeah,
in the
because
year 2000.
him, Kiefer Sutherland.
Space Cowboys was
Tommy
really
Lee
good.
Jones,
Kiefer was in that.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wow. Donald Sutherland.
Donald. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Donald,
Kiefer
sorry.
wasn't in
No,
that.
Donald. Sorry.
I'm showing 44.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I listen.
And the dude's like 90
Yeah.
something now.
Yeah, he's up there pushing 100. We'll just say that. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars. I just thought it was okay.
And that's on Max, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can watch this on Max currently, or buy it at Fandango at home or Prime, whatever you buy your digital movies on. Now here's the thing. I thought there was great performances in it, but that ending, man, endings can make or break a movie, and that ending was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. And I'm like, the direction of the movie I thought was a little, but I'm like, is Clint Eastwood losing it now? Is he done? Is he finally done?
Is it pacing issues maybe? Or?
It's just weird, man, how it is. Like the main character goes through so much, and then they have this conversation towards the end, and you're like, okay, it is what it is. And then, I can't spoil any more of it, but it just ends kind of oppositely. And you're like, really? Like, it ends like that. That's it. We don't know anything else. But I don't like, there was great performances in it, and it's, it was really well done for the most part. But man, that the way it just, takes a couple of turns there at the end, I'm just like, it didn't sit well with me, and I just had to give it an average score because of it. But I don't know how, and you liked it probably a little better than me.
Yeah, just a little bit. I didn't mind the ending is slightly ambiguous, I think, and I didn't mind as much as you did. So what the movie's about is Nicholas Hoult gets on this jury, and he's got his wife, and his wife's pregnant at his home. She's like a high risk pregnancy.
He tries to get out of jury duty,
and he tries to get out of jury duty.
And the judge is like, no.
And he gets on the case of a man accused of killing his girlfriend or whatever. It's a minor spoiler, but I'll try to dance around it. They tell you like 10 minutes into the movie, but basically he knows for a fact that the guy didn't do it, and he's now on the jury. He has to find a way to convince them, because they're all basically convinced that the guy did it. So he has to find some way to convince them that he's innocent without revealing how and why. He knows as much as he knows.
So is it like 12 Angry Men?
Yes, that's partially in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
J.K. Simmons plays one of the jurors too.
Right.
Oh, well.
So I mean,
you gotta watch it for that.
I would say J.K. Simmons is probably the shining part of the movie,
and it's pitched as like one of those kind of thrillers from the 90s. And on one level, it does kind of work like that. It is kind of shot like those 90s movies, and I just kind of enjoy that. But it's not exactly a thriller, because there's also the moral questions that the character is dealing with, and that kind of leads to the ending. But sort of my biggest problem with it were some of the performances, because Clint, I think, is still known as one of those guys, like, he likes to do like one take.
Yeah.
Like if he does one take and the performance was okay, and like the film went through the camera and the lights didn't mess up, he's like, all right, on to the next thing. And if you come up to him and be like, hey, Clint, I can do that better soon, whatever, like, no, it's good. He's like an old school guy.
That's what I've heard.
See,
too.
I thought the main people were great in it. Like their
performance was
performance
good and all that.
But some of the like side like jurors and stuff, like it was kind of like,
so this is where it gets a little weird for me. And this is, I'll talk to you about it since you've seen it. But so he gets on the jury, and basically they're all like, the guy did it for whatever their reason is. And so there are sort of two annoying jurors, and they both happen to be black people. and like I said, this is what I'm starting like, Clint, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So there's a woman who is she's like, I'm a bus driver and I got 3 kids at home, and we got to get out of this jury. She basically like, she's almost saying like, I don't care if he did it. I think he did it, and I'm good. Let's go home. And on the other,
I like the accent you put on there.
Like this is kind of how I'm feeling about these characters, and I'm like side eyeing Clint in
That's what I'm saying. Some of the direction of this movie is just odd.
And the other juror is Cedric Yarborough, who was on Reno 911,
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, at one point, he's like, that guy's got a tattoo that says he was part of a gang. So I know he did it. And I'll always find him guilty. I'm never going to say he didn't do it or whatever. And like, it's just weird that like the two sort of most outspoken, obviously we view Nicholas Hoult as the hero. So like whatever's going on, we want him to succeed, even though those two people have valid points. But it's just really odd
Why have to be with
that they
them?
both happen to be kind of annoying black people.
Well, Clint was born in 1930, so there's
I know. But like,
there's some 97-year-old white man bias that comes into play, I'm sure.
But then, and that's the thing. There's two other characters, two other jurors. They don't get more than a couple lines. They're two young white people, and one guy gets like the coffee spilled on him.
Yeah.
And later in the thing, he's like, I'm never gonna find that guy not guilty because he was abusive to his girlfriend. And there's a white girl, and she says something kind of along those lines too. So I'm like, is this what a 90-year-old guy thinks young woke people are like? Like, that guy's abusive, so he definitely did it.
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. I've been on a jury before, and it was like a child abuse / rape case. And there were I'm not even kidding you, exact conversations just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go to deliberate, the old people are like, fuck this. He's a piece of shit. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And they will argue with you. And then they'll take the firm stance. Like when you try to make a point, they'll be like, I don't want to hear it. My mind is, and we were hung like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And
each time the judge kept giving us orders back, like, well, if you believe the testimony in this person, then it's enough to convict.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically came down to that, because there wasn't enough substantial evidence, but we believed the testimony of one of the kids, so it was enough to convict.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, you wouldn't believe the effort they go through to keep you in that room to avoid a hung jury at all costs.
Yep.
So, and what kind of surprised me about this movie is like the theme of this movie is definitely morality. Like, should I do the right thing, or should I just skate by and let this go? And it's funny. They highlight that so much, and then they turn it upside down. They're like, nah, fuck that, and you're just kind of like, what's the point of this movie?
Well, I think that's the end of the movie. Do they say fuck that or not?
Yeah. But you get 2 different very scenes at the end of the movie that conflict with each other, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like I said, those performances kind of had me side-eyeing what I, for the most part, liked as a movie. And I definitely, at least from the people I follow on like Letterboxd and Film Twitter and all that, they tend to have liked it better than we did.
Yeah.
We're on the Real Takes side of this one. He didn't like it either. And so that
speaking of that, he's the first person that shows up.
Yeah.
Is his name Dan?
Yeah, Dan. From
Dan.
Things, yeah. And so I think he only gave it like 2 stars or something.
Yeah, he was lower than me on that.
So like I say, like I want to like this movie, and I feel like if those characters had been allowed to refine their performance a little bit, that would have been one thing. But like I say, it made me side eye the whole movie. Like
Really?
some young woke people and some annoying black people or something. That maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading something into that.
No, I think you're pretty on to it. Like,
I haven't seen it, but I guarantee
it's funny. You mentioned that, and I'm like instantly seeing those scenes in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's on to something.
I feel kind of bad because I think I read a part of an interview where Clint Eastwood came up to Cedric Yarborough and told him he was doing a really good job or whatever. I'm kind of like, could have been better. If Clint had given him a second take or whatever, it might have been better. So like I say, a lot of people were kind of like mad at Max and Warner Bros. Like, oh, they should have released this wide. It would have been really good. And I'm kind of like, it's okay. It's okay.
My biggest complaint is that the movie just doesn't follow through, and you're literally left hanging there.
I wanted it to be more thrillery.
Yes. There was no drama.
There was there's a scene where like an eyewitness gives his testimony, says that's the guy that did it. And then later, toward the end of the movie, Tony Collette comes back and looks at the evidence and goes to the guy. And the guy's like, well, the cops were pretty sure he did it. So you're like, wait a minute. You've seen that scene in like every legal thriller. But you're kind of like, wouldn't the prosecutor have kind of like Law and Order movies do that? Like, did you pressure the witness? Did you show him the right pictures or whatever? And like, oh, yeah, sure. So like in the year 2024 or whatever, we're still like,
I was just going to say, how terrible are the cops in this movie? Like,
I don't think we meet any of them, do we?
no,
Do they, does one of them testify or something?
you don't meet them, but you hear how like rushed it was,
Right.
and you're just like, this can't be how America works. It is, but
Well, it is bad.
here's what Dan said. He said, imagine if Netflix made an Anatomy of a Fall and literally did nothing of note with the camera and also showed you what the fuck happened 15 minutes into the movie. What are we doing here? Absolutely no drama. Yes, I agree there.
I do think, like he says, the reason why Nicholas Hoult is doing what he's doing is a little too much of a giveaway that they should have held to a little later at least.
Yeah. No suspense, no mystery, on the nose, boring ass script where subtext doesn't exist. Nicholas Hoult repeatedly publicly malfunctions to drive the plot forward and does some of the most ridiculous and obviously incriminating shit I've seen a character do this year. He's right, dude. I'm not going to read any more of it. You can read Real Takes, Dan Monaghan's review on Juror number 2 on Letterboxd. And I'm sure he's got a video.
Follow him on TikTok. Yeah.
I feel like I've got an idea of what fucking happened just from hearing all this.
Probably.
Yeah. And look, there's no way to not spoil the movie, because if you watch the trailer, you know what it's about and what's going to happen in the deliberation, deliberation and all that. Like, they don't do a very good job of like, there's no suspense, like there's just none. It is what it is. And it's pretty much, a nervous Nicholas Hoult's, saying, well, maybe he's not so guilty.
And the I'm looking at the Letterboxd page, the big title line here is "Justice is blind, guilt sees everything."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that right there tells you what it's about.
While serving as a juror in a high-profile murder trial, family man Justin Kemp finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict, potentially convict or free the accused killer. Guilt, moral dilemma, like, he obviously fucking did it. Like, I mean, that's what I'm getting from this. Like,
hey, we didn't
he did it.
What hot sauce did for you.
It's really, here it's not even spoiling, because you automatically know.
Like they tell you like 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, and I mean, if you watch the trailer, they pretty much tell you.
Yeah.
So it's just
a matter. I'll still watch.
It's just a matter of how they get there in the movie, and they do a terrible job of getting there. And then you actually finding out, like, I like closure out of movies. I don't want it to be sometimes it's okay for it to be, left up to interpretation, but I like for it to be pretty much, this is what happened.
There is a moment where Toni Collette is looking for people who drive certain vehicles because she's following up on the case. And she goes to the house that Nicholas Hoult lives in with his, it must be fiance. Are they married? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're married.
Okay, so I don't know what they would have had the same last names, but she goes to the house where Nicholas Hoult's wife is home pregnant, and she's sitting in a chair talking to Nicholas Hoult's wife, and behind them is a picture of Nicholas Hoult and the wife.
Yeah,
and she doesn't see the picture and put two and two together. Like, oh, that's my juror. He shouldn't be on the jury if I'm, if he's at any way might be involved with this stuff.
It's just like, how incompetent is everyone in this movie?
How did it get this far? Yeah, how did it get this far? And like we know that's how the justice system works in America, but like,
yeah,
that would have been maybe a bit of an interesting subplot or something. And it kind of is, because she wants to be the DA, so she's got to close the case on this guy.
Of course.
So it's one of those movies where somewhere in there is a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been it could have easily been a 4.5 star movie, but it just was.
Like I said, those couple of those performances really had me like, what are we trying to say here with this message, Clint?
Do you think that's just Clint being too goddamn old and not picking up on shit, or do you think it's just? It
felt like, and that's the thing I was talking about with the direction of the film. It felt like somebody who was massively out of touch.
Yeah, well, like Robzilla and Rob, like it is trying to do a 12 Angry Men, where if people are different races, they're different sexes, they've got different backgrounds, and it's just really odd to me that it came off the way it did. So I think I looked up the guy who wrote the script, and I don't think he's written anything. He was a producer of some things, and I don't think he was up to quite writing the top legal thriller he thought he was writing or something.
Would have been better if it was more style of like a 12 Angry Men. Would that have been more of a better situation?
I mean, they were always going to have the juror stuff. We've all seen, there's tons of movies and TVs out there where like a guy gets on the jury and he knows something or feels some different way and he kind of investigates or whatever. There's tons of those movies out there, I'm sure. And that's what this movie is trying to be. Like, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. And like I say, I mean, Clint does an okay job directing it, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it got a lot of hype because everybody's like, this needs to be released because it's going to be a throwback to the legal thrillers of the 90s. And it's not quite.
No,
Not quite.
no,
It's not the client.
It's not the client. It's not John Grisham.
Yeah, I love
Worth a watch,
Yeah.
but
I almost feel like if there would have been a different director, we might have gotten the movie we wanted. So
maybe. Like I say, it's
but then again, it does go back to the writing, and you're like, ugh.
yeah. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed, especially because, like I say, I follow some people who gave this movie like 4 stars and 5 stars, and it was like in their top 10 of the year. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was just disappointed. Just that's the way to say it.
Okay.
Put that on the poster. Mr. PBS of the Sleazy Podcast was just disappointed.
We should get that Martin Scorsese thing, and instead of cinema, disappointed. I should do that. I think I'll do that tonight. Okay, so we're gonna do our year in review on Letterboxd here. I don't know if I can do yours. Should I look real quick?
I mean, I can look at my own.
Hold on.
And just tell you what's on there.
What's your name on here?
Is it just ROKYFO?
Rokyfo. Rokyfo. Kyle.
I don't know if you can see my stats for 2024 or whatever.
Yeah.
If you pull up the Earl for his name and then put /year and then /2024, it should.
Yeah, he's got it in there.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Pulling mine up.
So you viewed 230 movies, 88 reviews. Look at you. 3 lists, 12 likes, 0 comments, 403.5 hours of movies watched. Is that accurate or not accurate?
That's probably pretty close.
Because I always forget to plug in like stuff I rewatch sometimes. And
if I like sit down and watch a movie, I plug it in there. Like if I sit down a movie and if I sit down to rewatch something and I've take a nap halfway through, I won't put it in or anything like that, but it's got to be something I've pretty much watched.
So your highest rated movies of the year was Love Lies Bleeding. You gave it 4 stars. Snack Shack. I still haven't watched that yet. You told us to watch that. Is that still on Prime?
Probably.
Snack Shack, you gave 4 stars. Horizon Part 1, you gave 4 stars. Ripley, you gave 4 stars. Wasn't that a series on Netflix?
Yeah, that was a Netflix series.
Okay. Dune, you gave Dune Part 2 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I initially gave that 4, and I need to go back and watch it. But I'm like, I just didn't.
Have you watched
that's on Netflix now.
Have you watched the Dune
Prophecy? I haven't watched that one yet.
I really want to check it out, but I'm like, I can't get into it. You know?
I've heard it's good.
Like right now, Landman and Dexter's on, and I'm just like,
I want to start. I want to watch Landman.
Landman fucking is good. Billy Bob Thornton's doing some of the best work of his career.
They'll bust your head open like a pinata.
Yeah, it's good. What about you, Hot Sauce? You watched Landman yet?
No, I watched Lioness, but I haven't watched him. I haven't watched Lioness is the only Taylor Sheridan shit that I've watched.
So far, I mean, everything I've watched from that dude has been pretty good. So, and I've only watched Tulsa Kings, Mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah.
That's Jeremy Renner, right?
I've only watched like a season and a half of that.
Stallone and Renner.
And then I've watched the first season of Lioness. That was really good. And then Landman. And they've all been really good. So can't complain.
There's a brief little part last episode, maybe next to last episode in the second season of Lioness, where it's like, Taylor Sheridan, quit jerking yourself off. Like he just goes over the fucking top, and it's like, dude, come on, man.
I see where he always has to make like little appearances too, and
yeah, he's got a little recurring role
or whatever.
Yeah. So you gave Deadpool and Wolverine a 3.5. I should punch you in the face for that.
That was a generous 3.5.
Long legs, long legs, a 3.5. I'm surprised about that. I thought you enjoyed it a little bit more than that.
The ending kind of keeps me from going. I being a full 4 stars on that one.
Alien Romulus 3.5. Okay,
3.5 means I had a good time. Just didn't totally love it.
So you logged 230 movies.
I've been pretty consistent the last couple of years because in 23 I had 228 movies.
Okay,
and in 22 I had 258.
So you averaged about 19 movies a month. So that came out to 4 a week. Milestones here. Your first film was A Fistful of Dollars.
By the way, today, January 3rd, is the anniversary of Sergio Leone's birthday. So.
Okay.
And J.R. Tolkien. So it's a big day for spaghetti westerns and fantasy.
Your last film was Mr. Nanny.
Yes, sir.
You watched that. You broke in the new year with Mr. Nanny, huh?
Is
that the one with Undertaker in it?
No, that is Suburban Commando.
Okay.
Both.
We should have a Suburban Commando night. I'm just throwing that out there.
Both are playing on Amazon Prime right now.
Undertaker's in Suburban Commando.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Oh,
okay. Where were you at?
I was looking
at what the fuck? Is he in a diabetic coma? What the fuck was that?
He was rationing that insulin, waiting on the UAP.
He literally just said that.
DK.
You notice how proud of himself he was? He was like, Undertaker's in, Suburban Commando.
I believe his name is Mark Calloway, sir.
Yeah. Today, January 5th, that's Tolkien's birthday. If you didn't know that, guys.
Right. He's on.
You guys, if you weren't aware of that.
All right.
I saw like Mr. Nanny, Suburban Commando, and Surf Ninjas were all streaming on Prime.
I saw Surf Ninjas.
I just watched that yesterday.
I'm not saying they're good movies, but boy, I watched them a bunch during my childhood.
Oh yeah,
so I had to at least give them a watch for the first time in like 20 years.
All right. So thriller was your number one genre. Following horror, action, drama, sci-fi, crime. You had 44 films in there. You had 94 films that were thriller. I think we know what you like, buddy. 182 USA movies. 31 UK, 12 Germany, 10 France, 10 Japan, 8 Canada. Okay.
I just want the decades.
Right. Well, it looks like you had 36% rewatches, 63.5% new watches. Oh, that old. Look at this. 80% older movies.
Find the decades. Find the fucking decades.
Look, if this doesn't tell you something right here.
You know what the fuck? Look at that shit.
Well, no, you there. What's at the top 8 are all Star Trek actors. So I had had a Star Trek rewatch earlier this year.
Yeah, I can tell. I had Catherine O'Hara in my top 5 too, I think.
What did I watch? I watched 5.
Look at the directors. Chris Columbus is in there, 2 films.
I'm surprised he even watched 2 M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Yeah. Dario Argento.
What did he have? He had Trapped, and he had I watched The Visit this year.
I gotta watch that one still.
That was good. With the old people.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, that.
No, I forgot. I'm thinking of the other one.
He was like, I gotta watch that this year.
That one directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
No, the other one. The one that came out. Can't remember the name of it. His daughter directed it. Sorry.
All right. So I had 208 entries, 84 reviews, 3 lists, 8 likes, 0 comments, 387.9 hours. My highest ranked was Deadpool and Wolverine, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, The Substance, Bad.
Oh, you got that in?
What's that?
Superman.
Oh, yeah. Excellent film. The Program, Long Legs, Alien Romulus, and Gladiator 2. Let's see here. My first film was The Holdovers. My last film was Juror number 2 on December 30th. I did not watch that twice, so it must be like an error where I entered it twice.
Robzilla does that a lot.
Yeah,
I do.
Horror, 83 films. Thriller, 79 films. Comedy, 56. Action, 51. Drama, 51. Sci-fi, 45. Adventure, 32. Crime, 29. Mystery, 27. Romance, 18. And pretty much the same as you when it came down to countries. So, but yeah, we're pretty similar though. It seems like I'm a little balanced.
Oh, Letterboxd's like genre classifications are usually kind of broad.
Yeah.
So like a horror movie can be a thriller movie.
Yeah.
Because they're thrilling,
Yeah, I had 64% older too. 35% or 35.6% in new premieres. A lot of new watches. Let's see here. Catherine O'Hara was my top actress. Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, Octavia Spencer. Yeah, she was in a bunch of movies I watched this year. Hey, look, Kevin Durant. It's my guy, man. Matt Damon. I don't know. There's Glenn Powell. Directors Tim Burton. Did I really watch 4 Tim Burton movies this year? I can't even remember.
Click on it, it'll tell you which ones you watched.
Beetlejuice, Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I did. Wow. Martin Scorsese,
Marty.
Dario Argento, James Wan. All right. Your most liked review is Ezreal, 2 likes.
Oh shit!
Yeah. What's your name on here, Rob?
You just Robzilla, 85, I think.
1985.
1985. There we go. I had to put in a couple movies I forgot to put in.
You just did that now, like as we were talking.
Well, no, because he mentioned Surf Ninjas. I watched that yesterday. I completely forgot to put it in.
So you just did it now?
Yeah. Well, yesterday was this year, Rob, so it won't count as your.
Now you know why he's always on his phone. He's like, gotta get this in before Eric yells at me.
No, I completely forgot.
That's why he didn't come over here the other week. He didn't want to get yelled at.
I'm used to it.
His dad wasn't in the hospital. He just didn't want to deal with it. Okay, let's see here. Stats.
Look at that. Surf Ninjas and then those last minute additions there.
Yeah, that's the one I forgot to put in.
262 diary entries, 2 reviews, 8 likes, 480.5 hours watched. Highest rated films. Although you can do the Penguin in here. Okay. I
just finished the Penguin. That shit is fucking great.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like The Sopranos meets Gotham City?
It was
awesome.
Great.
Bad Faith, 5 stars. Deadpool and Wolverine at 4.5. Dune Part 2 at 4 stars. The Substance at 4 stars. The Beekeeper at 4 stars. South Park, The End of Obesity, 4 stars. They should have made a joke about the rotten egg burps in that.
Yeah.
Ted at 4 stars. That's the Ted TV show, obviously. Yeah. So you logged 262 films. You had an average of 21.8 a month, averaging out at 5 a week. Your first film was Rebel Moon, and your last film was Carry On, December 28th. What did you watch the next 3 days, Rob?
I can't remember.
You didn't even see. We're missing movies. You probably got like 600 logged hours
and Tubi movies.
Those are he started and ended his year with Netflix though, man.
Look at this. Rob watched Salem's Lot 3 times. Silent Night, Deadly Night twice. Fright Night twice. Vamp twice. All Hallows Eve twice.
That should be only once.
Hold Your Breath twice. Transformers, Rise of the Beast twice. What?
Rise of the Beast twice?
I didn't watch it twice.
He doesn't. Rob doesn't realize that he goes in and says he watched the movie, and then he goes back and he rates the movie and says he watched it again.
Okay, that might be a problem then.
Horror, you led the way with 140 films. Thriller 85, action 74, comedy 66, crime 50, sci-fi 45, drama 30, documentary 25. That's the thing. Rob he finds these documentaries, and I always forget to do
those documentaries are what he's watching instead of reading your book.
Yeah. 24 mystery, 22 adventure. A lot of USA. I'm surprised that South Korea isn't the first one. 8 films. What are you doing?
What is that clickable?
Yep.
Go, buddy.
Project Wolf Hunting, Shark the Beginning, Officer Black Belt.
That's actually a pretty good movie, actually.
Yeah.
It should be a series, actually.
I'm going to take your word on it, because that Project Wolf Hunting was really good. No Tears for the Dead. That sounds awesome. That sounds badass.
The movie's awesome.
The Roundup, Badland Hunters, Unstoppable, The Gangster, The Cop, The Devil.
Hey, Don Lee's in it, man.
All right.
Now, The Cop, The Devil, and The Gangster is really good.
There's your, all right, your older 64%. Newer was 35. Watches 93.9%. Rewatches 6.1%. So Rob doesn't really rewatch a whole lot of stuff. You don't review anything either. Okay. Who the fuck is Reggie Bannister?
Rob obviously had a
on the 5
rewatch. Reggie Bannister and Angus Scrimmar in the Phantasm movies. So he must have rewatched.
Yeah, I rewatched the Phantasm.
Yeah, there you go. Phantasm 1 through 3. 1 through 4. The time you waste, my friend.
It is what it is.
Dave Bautista showed up on your top actors. Eddie Murphy. Okay.
Knock at the Cabin was the one with Dave Bautista.
That was a good movie,
It's
man.
really
I
good.
really liked that one. Dude, I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these names, though. Was that Don Coscarelli?
Yeah, he directed the Phantasm movies.
Is that how you say his name?
Coscarelli? Yeah.
Coscarelli. Okay. Dario Argento. Paco Plaza. Man. I was waiting on hot sauce to laugh.
I'm a little bit different. Sorry.
Yeah, we could tell.
Robzilla's built different.
Zilla. Damn.
All right. Hot sauce, what's your
There ain't even no point in pulling my shit up.
you don't log anything?
I don't have hardly anything logged. You guys are up in the 200s. I probably got like 70, if that, 80.
Is it Montana?
Yeah. XVI.
The man who turned us on to Letterboxd let it fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
No, I still use it. There's not two in it. Yeah. Look at that profile picture.
What is that, by the way?
That's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
That's really his picture. I think he had COVID.
Okay.
I think he had COVID and he was fucked up.
So Twister is your background?
That's been my background since I was able to change background. I put it as Twister, just fucking around. I've never changed it.
He's a patron, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to 2024.
We should
Oh,
say
33. Not
33.
even not even 70. See, look at that.
Yeah, we need to get you back on the ball here.
And the worst part is I work less than you guys too.
Yeah.
for people who have Letterboxd, they don't have all these reviews unless they're a pro or patron.
Yeah.
But I think everybody who uses Letterboxd does get a Wrapped, and I think they're doing that on like the 8th, so you get to see the stats on the 8th.
Okay.
Which means Rob did become a pro this year because we didn't have his stats last year. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we
I
did.
signed up
Good
for
for Rob.
Yeah, I signed up for it.
Good for you, you piece of shit.
Thank you.
Rebel Moon was your first. Your last movie was Smile 2. Did you like that?
Smile 2?
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I
enjoyed
didn't
it.
mind it at all.
I liked it better than the first, and I was not a fan of the first.
I probably both the same.
You got 14 drama, 10 thriller, 10 comedy, 8 action, 8 crime. So you're pretty spaced out.
Mhm.
You're not as diverse in the countries.
No. We'll go back up to the language real quick. What is it? All English?
Yeah.
I don't fuck with them subs and shit.
So Project Wolf Hunting is not for you then,
Probably not.
unless you can turn an English dub on.
If I got some dubs, I might fuck with it. Yeah.
It's pretty brutal, dude. I think you'd like it. Twisted dark psychological thriller, leading the way with 8 films.
What are those 8? I'm just curious.
Smile 2, Trap, Happy Death Day to You, Happy Death Day, Kato Lake. Kato Lake was really good. I thought.
I enjoyed that. I really liked that.
The Sixth Sense, Hold Your Breath. Did you like Hold Your Breath?
I didn't rate it. I don't rate a lot of shit though. That's the thing.
Then of course Saw has to make the list.
Always.
All right. 63.6% older, 36% new, 18% rewatches, 81.8% watches. Oh man, look at that. Randall Reeder. Is that how you say his name?
What the fuck's he from? What is that?
Idiocracy, Deadpool and Wolverine, Grandma's Boy.
Oh, all right. Some
Carry
director, producer, or some shit.
Yeah, I see a couple of the Smile 2 people. Okay. Directors, M. Night Shyamalan, Christopher Landon. Good job. Yeah, we got to get you back up onto the login shit.
I need to start keeping track of shit. I need to watch
numbers.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers.
Right.
But
Okay, so we ready to do this top 10 list?
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to go to list here. Start your own list, and we're just going to do Sleazy Podcast top 10.
I'm gonna need you to start doing some lists.
Okay.
No. Okay,
No, PBS gets on those lists. You'll be talking about something and he'll send you that little link. Oh, I added these to my list. You know, I
Yeah.
added,
right.
and you'll be like, list of the top foreign movies that are dog shit that I need to fucking watch because I haven't watched them before. Like PBS get on them lists.
Right.
And we will not rank these movies. All right, so let's go back to this view.
And Rob needs to keep like a running list of like shitty Tubi movies. He's got I need,
I think one of the best ones was Lowlifes, and that was highly ranked in my opinion for Tubi original.
That Lowlifes movie was really decent. So who wants to go first? So basically what we're going to do, Hot Sauce, is we each take a turn picking them, what we thought was the best until we get to 10. So it's an equal kind of footing.
Sorry, say that one more time.
So we're each going to take turns picking movies. So if you want to participate or you can just speculate on it, it's your choice. Who wants to go first?
Picking what?
Movies, best movies of the year.
Oh,
2024.
So you're gonna do like a pre-sleazy.
Yeah. It's just our top 10 because we don't do like top 10 for the sleazies. We do best awards.
Yeah.
All right. So is there like I want to see if there's a ranker list for this.
There probably is.
Yeah, there's always
there's a list always for ranker.
New movies of 2024 ranked. All right, so who wants to go first?
You can pull that up in Letterboxd.
Oh, can you really?
sort by popularity or whatever, or sort by review ranking or whatever, right?
Popular by year.
We'll just, since nobody's answering me, I'm throwing it to you, PBS.
Well, I just threw that over there in the private chat for the StreamYard, the link.
All right, so I will pick one of my favorites of the year. I'm trying to think of something that you guys might not pick. So I'm going to put Kevin Costner's Horizon in there.
All right.
Now, I do have some reservations about it, but I this was one of my favorite movies of the year when I finally checked it out on HBO Max. And I know Kevin Costner's a big fan of the show, so I just want to personally say, Kevin, I'm sorry that I didn't go see this in the theater. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that means because Chapter 2 is shot and just hasn't been released yet.
Okay, it's been shot back to back.
And like I said, that was one of the criticisms of Chapter 1 is it's kind of not a full movie in a way, because there's a lot of different characters it's cutting back and forth between, and it's just about their journey out west. So you almost need Chapter 2 in a way to kind of finish off some of the storylines, I think. But this to me felt like a big, real movie, and especially a Western, which I've always got a little bit of a love for. So it's definitely one of my favorites of the year.
Man, I don't know why I can't find it.
Horizon Chapter 2.
I don't see it.
Chapter 1?
Chapter 1, yeah.
Yeah, Chapter 1.
This is Kevin Costner, so
Right.
I don't see it listed under the 2024 movies.
Yeah, I think it said 2023.
Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1.
There we go. That's another thing with Letterboxd. You got to have the full.
Yeah, you got to be a little more on it.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm going to pick Abigail.
Abigail.
Yep. I just thought that was a super fun.
You think that's one of the best movies of?
Yeah, because I watched that with you, and I just thought it was a fantastic.
It was a fun movie.
It was a very fun movie. It's got our, Kevin Durant, and it's got Dan Stevens, who was fantastic in that movie. So I really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna pick. I'll go next. I'll pick Strange Darling.
I figure you're gonna pick Strange Darling.
I fucking love that movie.
Still got to. Sorry, Rob's microphone just tipped over.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how long it'd been that way. I still need to watch that one. That is on my list. I haven't made my own top 10 all the way yet, because there's still like a handful of movies from last year I want to check out before I do that.
It says 2023, but that came out in 2024. Right?
Well, that's another thing about Letterboxd.
It goes by the festival premiere
like
date.
the premiere day,
Yeah.
not necessarily the general audience premiere.
Yeah.
Just like Strange Darling was 2023. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 2024
Yeah,
for us.
that's when it really came out for most people.
Hot Sauce, do you want to go?
Nah, go ahead. I'll jump in if I see something though.
Okay. Well, it's back to you.
In that case, another one that I don't know if you guys will pick, but I'm gonna pick Snack Shack.
Okay.
Snack Shack was just one of my favorites of the year. It's a very it's a coming of age movie.
Is this set in the 90s?
Set in the 80s or 90s. I think it was the 90s. And we talk about like stuff like Juror number 2 and like Carry On. Like Carry On's like, oh, it's a modern Die Hard, and Juror number 2 is like a modern legal thriller, and none of them quite measure up. But I thought Snack Shack did really good. I think we get too many like coming of age movies anymore. So that really did it for me.
All right. Rob, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going Love Lies Bleeding.
Good pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adding the watch list too. That's why I'm sitting back. As you're saying stuff, I'm clicking on the watch list.
He's gonna come back later like, hey, that top 10 list you made up was garbage.
Yeah.
Fucking garbage.
I don't know about that. I think this is pretty decent so far.
Oh yeah, these are all movies I've enjoyed.
I still think about Love Lies Bleeding on a weekly basis.
I really need to rewatch it.
Yeah. It was a very sexual movie.
Kristen Stewart. That's why you liked it.
What's that?
Kristen Stewart. That's why you.
No. The other chick is way hotter than her in this.
The more you like the masculine woman.
Hey, she was on, dude.
Let her throw you around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the what was the one documentary about the one female bodybuilder that she killed her bodybuilding husband? But
Yeah.
she had dudes that would pay to like fucking wrestle her or something like that. What was her name? Machine Gun something?
Oh, pissed.
We talked about that.
Like Tammy or something like that.
Yeah, it's something weird about that. All right, it's on you, Zilla.
We got to put it in there. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
Do we have to put it in there?
I mean, you don't have to.
I go that one.
All right.
Boy. I guess in that case, I will put The Substance on here.
I figured that was going to at least be on the list somewhere.
I mean, it has to be. I mean, it was so freaking good. Have you watched that yet, Hot Sauce?
No.
Oh, you'll love that movie.
It was just kind of a kick-ass movie. Like I said, I didn't love the ending on it.
Demi Moore gives you the performance of a lifetime with her full frontal nudity.
She was killing it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a very interesting movie and movie experience.
There was just something about that movie, like the music, the way they shot it, like it just all blended together so well. And I think about that movie at least once a week now here lately too. Okay, so is it already back to me? Good Lord.
You are Zilla.
Let's see here. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. What do we go with here? I'm surprised you haven't said Furiosa yet.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Really? I haven't seen it either.
I've been meaning to watch it the last couple of nights. I just couldn't press play
I keep
on it.
hearing like people really like Furiosa.
Streaming on Max, I think. Like it's one of like the 10 movies I want to try to check out here in January before I make a little official list for myself.
All right. I'm going to narrow this down as quickly as possible here.
Come on, Rob. Let him have it. Tell him to hurry up.
Yeah, I know.
Tell him he should have been more prepared.
But there's so much I want to choose from.
There's a big thing here, man.
That's what she said.
I know.
You know what? I got to go with it. Doom Part 2.
It's a good choice.
Because I was just so captivated by that in the theater.
I think it's on a lot of people's lists.
Silence.
All right, it's on Rob now.
Trying to think here.
While he's thinking, I saw something on the 2024 films list that I know you watched that didn't get a chance to watch was Maxine.
That will not be on my top 10.
No? Okay.
I will not.
Do you like the other two better?
No.
No.
I don't like Maxine. I didn't like Pearl, but I did like.
Oh, wow.
X.
Okay.
I did like X. I couldn't stand her crying and like the constant bitching she had.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So,
man.
I did like Maxine a little better just because I sort of know more of the film it's referencing, but it still wasn't. It was another one I was kind of disappointed in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was pumped for that. I'm like, this shit looks good.
Right.
And then I went to the theater and I was like, boring.
I'm gonna go Civil War.
Okay, excellent choice.
Not a bad pick at
Oh,
all.
that's the wrong Civil. We want Civil War.
Where are you from?
No, what kind of American are you?
Yeah.
All right, it's on you for the last pick, dude.
Oh, the last one.
So
Oh,
1, 2,
Jesus.
3,
Here you
4,
go.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Better give that shit the NBA Jam.
Here you go.
Oh man. Do I pick Nosferatu that I just saw?
It was that good, huh?
I'm gonna pick Nosferatu.
Somebody was telling me that there's a big vampire dick in it.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
like one scene where you kind of see it in shadow.
Does the vampire have a hammer?
Like I say, you just kind of see it in shadow, so it didn't look like.
Well, I mean, does the shadow indicate to you that the vampire has a hammer? You know, the way that some of these people are talking.
I did see a picture that they did give the prosthetic to Nicholas Hoult. He has a picture of it like framed, like
Oh yeah.
smiling at it. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's your usual Count member, I guess.
Okay. All right. So are you going
I
with
haven't
it?
seen very many of those, so I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not something that you really see in vampire movies. Like,
No.
Yeah. I think I'll go with Nosferatu.
here's my Count Chocula dick. Okay, Nosferatu.
The other one I think about picking, I don't know if you guys have seen that. Have you guys seen Exuma? I think Rob has.
That's up there.
It sounds familiar. I don't
We
think
talked
That's
about
on
it. I don't know if
Shudder,
you
yeah.
watched it. It was
Exuma, huh?
where like they're like exorcist people, and it's kind of like a Ghostbusters almost, but a serious Ghostbusters. Worth a watch.
Okay.
But
It's on
I,
Shudder. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a good one. It's in my top 10 also. But yeah, I think keep Nosferatu up there. I like that one quite a bit. Maybe not my favorite Eggers, but it's good.
See, I've heard people say that's their favorite between that and the Northman.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people have been saying. But they said, you know, Bill Skarsgård and, you know, Lily Rose Depp is fantastic. But everyone I keep hearing is like Aaron Taylor Johnson's like god awful in it.
I don't know. I thought he's doing something a little. He's got to be like the straight man in the show. Like he's the one who's kind of like, you all are going crazy. So he's, you know, kind of doing something a little different.
What about Willem
Willem
Dafoe? Of course, he probably nailed it as always.
Willem Dafoe has maybe my quote of the year that I keep thinking about. He's playing the not Van Helsing. So it's
Okay.
Nosferatu is basically Dracula. So he is the Van Helsing that's not Van Helsing. And there's a line he says where I've seen things that would make Sir Isaac Newton crawl back up into his mother's womb. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
You want to go see it tomorrow?
No, I can't. I'm busy. I gotta work.
Well, we're going out for pizza tomorrow with a friend.
Well, I have to double check. I still don't get a response because
Here we go.
No,
Here we go.
No, because I got to put down the drywall.
He's got to put down the drywall.
Drywall.
He's not
You
doing
can't
it.
reach over 5 feet tall. What drywall are you fucking doing?
With the bottom sheet.
Right. Fucking goddamn wainscoting, the fucking baseboards and shit.
I'll nail the first part into the wall so you don't have to bend over.
He's got to get the screws on the bottom.
You're 5 foot tall.
Rob,
I'm
go
the
ahead.
tallest one, so shut it.
Go ahead and tape that screw hole and butt it for me while you're doing there.
Okay.
All right, real quick. We'll each give one notable, you know.
Okay. I got 3 of mine. So.
Is that I'm having a brain fart here. Is that what we want to say? Notable or
Honorable
Yeah,
mention.
honorable mention? There
There we
we
go.
go.
So past me, because I'm still thinking.
Okay, I'll go first.
He just said he had 3 of them, and now he's like,
Well,
"Pass
I'm,
me."
I'm tossing because I don't.
I've got 3 of them, but past me. I need to.
I'm
I
still.
need to
I'm
think.
still deciding. Yeah.
I'll go first then. I'm Late Night with the Devil.
I was gonna say
It was so
kinda-
good, and that's another 2023 movie. But it wasn't released to us until 2024.
Was it like January, February released?
I feel like it was last winter.
Yeah.
Or October or something like that. But okay, it's on you because Rob's still thinking.
I like Long Legs, but I'm not going to put it on there. I like Exuma. I'm not going to put it on there. I just watched this one the other day, and it was actually kind of better than I thought it would be. I'm going to go Quiet Place, day one.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh yeah, that was.
I gotta watch that.
I had fun watching that in the theater. It was
I
fun.
still haven't watched part 2, but I've heard people say, you really got to watch Quiet Place day one because it's not exactly what you think it's going to be.
So if you like Quiet Place Day One, you're gonna love part 2.
Yeah.
Is that on Paramount Plus?
It's something like it.
And that movie has the luckiest fucking cat in the world.
Bro, if this was real life, that cat'd be dead. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, there's no way. Are you ready?
Yep. So honorable mention, just because I seen it in theaters with
Just-
you and Talbot.
Just one.
So I know Boy Kills World with Bill Skarsgård.
Okay.
It's a fun flick, and it's not the best, but it's so much fun.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Because Tracy and her cousin and husband was over the house. They watched it and they loved it.
All right.
So between that and my God, and A Violent Nature. There we go. It was toss up between that.
I
one
still need to watch that one. That's on my list too.
You know, people might have our heads because we didn't put Long Legs in there.
Yeah.
Long Leg. It's actually in my top 10, but
I feel like if we had another pick, it might have been in there. So
Well, like I mentioned, that one Cuckoo's on Hulu, and then that movie just came out called Night Bitches on Hulu already.
Yeah.
I do not want to watch that Night.
I
Bitch.
don't either, but
I don't even want to watch Cuckoo. But
Which one is Night Bitch?
Amy Adams is in it.
Yeah.
I
think
feel like I've seen
Dan Stevens
stuff for that.
Dan Stevens is in it too.
I think so.
He's a Cuckoo.
Oh, Cuckoo. Cuckoo just doesn't look interesting to me, and I shouldn't be negative like that because normally those are movies that surprise you.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I got to work myself up to it. Like I just feel like my time is valuable anymore now, and I can't waste it on bad cinema.
Well, the most stuff I watch now is like TV shows, really.
Yeah, but I do want to check out Night Bitch and Cuckoo. That's on the list.
That's on. Yeah,
I feel like Night Bitch is kind of like a chick flick.
Isn't it kind of like Amy Adams going crazy and maybe turning into a werewolf?
A woman thrown into the stay-at-home routine of raising a toddler in the suburbs slowly embraces the feral power deeply rooted in motherhood as she becomes increasingly aware of the bizarre and undeniable signs she may be turning into a dog.
Yeah, a dog, not a werewolf.
I mean, really.
Hence Night Bitch.
Yeah,
It sounds like almost like a kick-ass character.
like I was like watching it, and I'm like, I think I'll pass on that. But I mean, I got to because we're kind of critics now. But
here's a couple movies I still need to check out. A lot of people have been talking about The Count of Monte Cristo coming out.
Yeah, I've seen
Dan
that.
from Real Take said that was like his favorite movie of the year. Transformers 1, the animated one.
I keep hearing that's like one of the
Everybody
best
keeps
ones.
saying it's good, and I just couldn't force myself to watch
Yeah.
it.
It's streaming now on Plus or something. So I'm
It's
gonna
like
check
they
that
fucking ruined Transformers for me, and I don't want anything to do with it anymore.
out. I still want to check out Anora. The Order just came out. I think it's on like you can rent it or buy it on Vudu or whatever. Kuka, I still want to check out. Oddity is streaming on Shudder. I want to check that one
I've been
out.
wanting to watch
That's
that.
that's been a lot of people's like top 10 horror movies.
That and I've heard that in The Devil's Bath.
Fall Guy is streaming now. I kind of want to check that out.
Yeah.
Whether it's any good or not. I still want to check out the new Joker, whether it's any good or not.
I don't want to fuck with it.
Muzz was like, "It's terrible, but you got to watch it because I want to hear your thoughts on the ending." And I'm like, "Okay."
I still want to see Challengers. I haven't watched that one yet. So I still got to see Mad Max Furiosa.
I'm shocked you didn't see that.
I just didn't get around to it. And I still want to see Megalopolis. Everybody says it's kind of.
I've heard
some
it's like
people.
the
Some
worst
people say
movie.
it's kind of a masterpiece, and some people say it's kind of terrible. So
Every person
It's
I
gotta
see review
be
is god awful.
On some level, it's got to be entertaining. Whether it's so bad it's entertaining, or
it is down to 10.
if it's the
bucks a month,
masterpiece that some people claim it to be. You got any more out there?
No, that's good. For now.
Okay.
Those are. Oh, I didn't. Conclave isn't on there. I want to check out Conclave. A lot of people were talking about that one.
Okay. All right.
Let me talk to
Yeah.
All right. So that is episode 200. And I just got to say thank you to everybody, all 45 to 30 of you that listen.
We love you.
On the YouTube, with Spotify, everywhere.
Sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 20 to 30, sometimes it's 200. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but I know that there's that core group of people that listen every week. And, when I post the video, the audio, when I post that, I always post that 2 days before. There's always like 10 right off the bat that listen to it. And I just got to thank you. And I know, a couple people have reached out over the years and, expressed how much they enjoy the show and it means something to them. And that is enough to keep going, I think. If it just influences one people or makes you feel better one day a week, it is what it is. And it's an accomplishment. It's not easy putting this together every week and getting these two fools out of the house
I would say it is easy doing it. It's not easy dealing with those two.
It's not easy, like organizing everything, and it may look like it's easy, but sometimes I'm a little scatterbrained from doing this and that and worrying about the flow of the show. But this has I think it's been one of the more funner things that I've done in life, and whether I'm leaving something for my nieces and nephews or my whoever is left when I'm gone to go back and enjoy our thoughts and opinions. And
so our hours of YouTube video will be assimilated into the AI. We will live forever.
Yes, and that's the thing. There's a part of us that'll live on forever, and like you said, and
that's going to be like a movie in the future, like future AI Skynet takes over, but then it gets assimilated into Rob, and suddenly the AI starts going.
Cue the Queen music. I'm immortal.
But yeah, there's been on my part. There's definitely been some. I forget what they call it. Is it pretender syndrome or
imposter
syndrome? Yeah, like sometimes you're like, man, I don't know if I got it, and then you listen to an episode and you're like, yeah, we do a pretty good job compared to other people that have a tremendous amount of subscribers, and you're like, what's the deal here? But
I do listen back to every episode, and I generally have some laughs, or sometimes I'll even catch something that I didn't catch.
And sometimes there is like little gaps where it might be a little unsettling when you're listening, but when you're going through it and you're trying to look stuff up, and it is what it is.
This is live and unscripted, and
you don't have a producer worth a fuck.
No. Like, if this was a professional format, we would have a couple people in the background working and feeding us information, so there wouldn't be those gaps. But it's just us, and Rob just sits there and gives that look that we just saw in that documentary. But
hey, did you guys know that today was Tolkien's birthday?
Like I said, thank you all for being a part of this journey that we've had. And, if you asked me, I never would have thought we would have made it to 200. I would have thought between you guys, no offense, I figured somebody would have dropped out and I would have just been like, I can't do it by myself. And, but it's been a journey, and I think it's been a good one. So, but here's to 200 more, I guess you could say.
Jesus, no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's gonna fall walking out of the house tonight. Like, oh shit, I can't.
That's what he'll do. He'll slip on the ice and be like, I can't come over anymore. It's just too much.
I'm in the ditch.
But on that note, please like the YouTube videos. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. Share the show with somebody.
Like the TikToks for as long as they're around.
Yeah, like the TikToks for the next couple of weeks that they're around, and keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and remember, listen to Sleazy.